new contract for Plainview teachers means more money in their pockets. A Juneteenth block party in Ardmore is about 1 week away, and the FIFA World Cup is here to hopefully bring people together. These stories and more on This Week in Ardmore from Ardmore Leader. I'm News Director Michael Dean Smith. Thanks for downloading episode 67 of This Week in Ardmore. This is a weekly podcast from Ardmore Leader dedicated to independent coverage of local news. Let's catch up on a few things I've been following around Ardmore, Oklahoma for the week of June 12th. Plainview Public Schools have approved a new contract for teachers that will put more money in their pockets. The Plainview School Board back on Monday approved the new contract, which changes how much the district and the teacher each contribute to a teacher's retirement accounts. The change lowers the teacher's contribution from 3.5% to 3%, while it increases the district's contribution from 3.5% to 4%. Several policy updates were also approved by the Plainview School Board this week, one of which officially removes corporal punishment as a disciplinary measure. Plainview Superintendent Carl Stricker told me that the practice has basically been eliminated before this week's policy updates. The Southern Tech Board of Education met this week, and the agenda for that meeting included the district's budget for the upcoming fiscal year. This $30.3 million annual budget for Southern Tech includes a $9.6 million building fund. The budget also includes a projected 27% drop in tuition revenue compared to the current fiscal year, as well as an overall drop of over $1 million in general fund revenues. The proposed budget considered by the Southern Tech School Board this week did include a nearly 16% jump in expected federal funds. Multiple organizations across Ardmore are making sure that kids out of school for summer break still have access to nutritious meals. The Ardmore Behavioral Health Collaborative has compiled a resource of food programs available over the summer months and includes dates, times, and locations of programs being offered by the Ardmore City Schools, the Chickasaw Nation, Boys and Girls Club, and a few others. Most summer feeding programs are limited to children 18 and younger, but some services through the Ardmore Soup Kitchen, the Regional Food Bank, and even HFV Wilson Community Center do have some free or reduced cost options available for adults as well. Early voting kicked off this week for primary elections and for a state question asking voters if Oklahoma's minimum wage should be increased. Early voting has been going on at Heritage Hall since Thursday and will wrap up coming up on Saturday. That'll be before polling places across Ardmore open on Tuesday, June 16th. Now, these closed primaries mean that only registered Democrats and Republicans will be voting in the primaries, but all registered voters, regardless of political affiliation, can still vote on that minimum wage question. Local government will be staying busy next week with some votes expected that could mark some important milestones for public safety and first responders. Coming up on Monday morning, the Carter County Commission will meet for their regular meeting that is expected to include a vote on creating a new drug court trust. The Ardmore City Commission will also meet on Monday evening, where commissioners are expected to vote on labor contracts with police and fire unions. In the Junction this week, I'll be talking with Ashley Wright and about the Juneteenth block party coming up next weekend. She'll talk a bit about what Juneteenth means for her and her family, and we'll learn what to expect on East Main Street coming up on Saturday, June 20th. In the newsletter this week, we've got some of the details for this Juneteenth block party, as well as the Juneteenth Harlem Nights karaoke fundraiser for East Ardmore Revitalization. Also in the newsletter this weekend is a column that I wrote actually last night about the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The month-long tournament started on Thursday with Mexico playing South Africa. And I actually went to a local Mexican restaurant on Thursday afternoon to watch the match and to kind of show off some of my broken Spanish skills. But I wrote about my experience being the minority in this group and how international sporting events like the World Cup can give all of us the opportunity to learn about our global community while also enjoying a game played by some of the world's best athletes. You can read this week's column along with previous editorials and letters to the editor on the opinion section of our website, ardmoreleader.com. Ardmore financial advisor Cody Steele will be back next week to wrap up the news with his Edward Jones Market Snapshot commentary, but stick around until the end of the podcast because every episode of This Week in Ardmore wraps up with the schedule. As always, I'll have details about upcoming public meetings. I've also got some information about a women's empowerment luncheon coming up later this month, as well as a Taekwondo demonstration coming up next month. And that's the headlines. Now, let's catch up on what happened this week in Ardmore for the week of June 12th, 2026. Plainview Public Schools Board of Education members considered a flurry of votes and heard multiple updates back on Monday as the school district prepares for construction. A new teacher contract was also approved that's expected to put more money in Plainview teachers' pockets. This PACT contract, approved by board members during Monday's regular meeting of the Plainview School Board, includes a bump in how much the district contributes to a teacher's retirement. The previous contract had the district and employees each contributing 3.5% to the Oklahoma teachers' retirement system. But the new contract will see the district contribute 4%, while the employee portion drops to 3%. Here's School Board President Mark Sheeman on Monday.
That negotiation really went real smoothly this year, and we were done in no time, actually.
Now, this updated contract comes as Superintendent Carl Stricker gave board members a positive financial update. While district budget projections last summer actually anticipated a loss of gross production revenue for the district, he said that the income stream has actually been larger than expected, highlighted by a $106,000 check that the district received just before that school board meeting. Another update from Stricker, though, was not quite as positive after a second water heater on campus failed at the intermediate school. A leak that started before dawn on a Sunday last month went undetected for some 30 hours, ended up causing some minor damage to floors and shelves. Stricker said that he now plans to inspect every single water heater on campus in an effort to prevent similar problems in the future. With 2 failed water heaters just in recent months, Stricker said that he's looking into electronic valves that can automatically shut off the water supply if a leak's detected.
If we can get a device that's $1,000 to put on these water heaters that will stop it from doing thousands of dollars in damage, because they don't break when we're here, they always break when we're gone or they're over a weekend. But we're looking into that solution to try to prevent that from happening again.
The district also sold its first set of bonds this week related to that voter-approved bond measure passed earlier this year. With transportation making up a major chunk of that package, Stricker hopes other bond-related infrastructure projects will soon begin on campus. He has said that a geotechnical company has been on site recently to bore holes and to prepare soil reports for that planned construction. He said designs are also underway for sound insulation treatments at the Peak building, the Plainview Early Education Center.
And we're pushing hard to get the design of the sound insulation at the Peak building, really trying to get that together before school starts. It's going to be really close because we haven't even put it out for bid yet. But even worse is there's like a 6-week lead time on getting that particular material. So it may be something that we're doing after school hours or on a weekend or something like that. But
several district policies were also updated at Plainview this week, with more changes expected next month. Language outlining student infractions and disciplinary standards were updated and expanded this week from 16 to 19 documented offenses. The district's also revised its policies and removed officially corporal punishment as a disciplinary option.
We really haven't used that in quite some time, so over the years, I think everywhere it's kind of phasing out.
Early in Monday's meeting, district parent April Sullivan addressed the board about expanding strength and conditioning training that's offered to students in the district. She noted the knowledge and experience of current Plainview athletic staff, and then asked the board to consider expanding the training to middle school students.
What I hear overall is we can be good at academics and we can also be good at athletics. And I think we are good, but I think with the kids that we have and the parents we have and the support that we have, that we could be really great.
Hey, does your group or organization have a public event coming up? Every single episode of This Week in Ardmore wraps up with the schedule to give listeners an idea of just a few things happening around town. Email your event details to connect@ardmoreleader, or give me a call or send me a text with event details, news tips, or even photos you'd like to share with the community. Call or text 580-319-9688, and let's advance local news together. Thanks for stopping by The Junction, where we're trying to make connections between Ardmorites. I'm Ardmore Leader News Director Michael Dean Smith. And back in January of 1863, right in the middle of the U.S. Civil War, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and that's what ended the horrific practice of slavery that dehumanized black people on this continent for generations. And while that move was supposed to free these men and women from bondage everywhere, in the U.S., the politics of Texas at the time meant that slavery actually continued there for over 2 years. But finally, on June 19th, 1865, some 2 years after the Emancipation was signed, federal troops landed in Galveston to inform the residents there that slavery was over. And while people have been celebrating June 19th every year since, it was only declared a federal holiday back in 2021. But one place that Juneteenth has been celebrated even before it was a federal holiday is right here in Ardmore, and the city's marking another Juneteenth anniversary later this month with 2 separate events. So here to talk about one of them is Ashley Wright. She was born and raised here in Ardmore and is now living down in the DFW area. Ashley, thank you for joining us in the Junction this week.
Thank you for having me.
So I'm just going to be very blunt and honest with these kind of conversations because I am a middle-aged white guy with a podcast. And so Juneteenth obviously is something that I learned and kind of means something maybe a little bit differently for me than it would for you. So Ashley, kind of just to start off this conversation, before we talk about this block party coming up on June 20th, I want to talk just kind of real briefly, what does Juneteenth kind of mean for you and your family?
For me and my family, it's more than just a celebration. It gives us an opportunity to, honor our ancestors, the resilient history and achievements, while bringing our community together. It shows where we've been, where we're at, and where we're headed to as well. It also shows that we are resilient and we have come a long way.
Yeah, I see it as a very, it's an important part of the human American spirit, in my opinion. So it's something that I've always, as soon as I've really learned about what it is, it's been something I've been able to kind of grasp and really celebrate, I think, along with a lot of Americans should. When did you first learn about Juneteenth? Was this something that you grew up with?
It is something that I grew up with. I know a lot of people didn't know about it, but growing up, I was educated on it. I did my own history on it as well. We actually used to have celebrations growing up, and as far as block parties or just family gatherings, getting together to celebrate. So it's nothing new to me. I grew up learning about it. I did my own history over it. And so that's what brings me the spirit to continue to celebrate and bring it to the community that I grew up in.
Coming up on Saturday, June 20th, is going to be this big Juneteenth block party here in Ardmore. Ashley, how long have you been organizing Juneteenth celebrations in town, and kind of what's your history with some of the previous Juneteenth celebrations?
I started after, I believe it was COVID, a group got together and started it back up, and I just did the kid section. So I would do the talent shows and bring in swag bags, and then it kind of died down, and we had a meeting, and I would inquire, like, are we going to have anything? And we had a meeting, and they were like, you're going to be the overseer. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't even live here. But I was like, okay, when your elders tell you to do something, you do it. And so I've been doing it, I would say 2 to 3 years, maybe 4. I'm not sure on the exact year when I started overseeing it. Okay. But I've been carrying that torch and trying to make it the best I can with the assistance of Marcello Anderson and Rochelle Baker. They've been helping me, but this year it's been kind of community-led. So whereas far as I've been reaching out to community leaders to help bring this on as well and assist to bring the block party together.
So walk us through what you're envisioning for June 20th. What can people expect? Who are some of the vendors they can expect? What are some of the activities and other bits they can expect from Juneteenth?
They can expect to community engagement, supporting local businesses, and just creating a positive experience for our youth, family, in all walks of life and all age groups. We're working hard to provide activities that include live music. We have a domino tournament, community vendors, contests. We're doing giveaways. We're doing some food as well, and just opportunity to fellowship with everyone in the community.
We're going to be releasing this podcast on Friday, June 12th. So from the time this podcast is released, it's a little over a week away. Are there any other vendors you're looking for? Are there any other entertainers or performers or anything like that you're still looking for to put this together?
We are looking for vendors. We do have quite a few that have come in. If you would like to be a vendor, just reach out to me via Facebook or our email, which to get a vendor form. It will be due on March 17th, I believe. Yes, March 17th.
June 17th.
They can. I'm sorry, June 17th. Yes,
Okay.
June 17th. For the vendor form. To be a part of it. So we're looking for local vendors who have businesses that they will reach out. We have quite a few already. We have Triple Threat Sheets. They do fruits, cookies, cakes, frozen drinks. We have TZ Sweet Cakes coming out. They always come out and support and have great food like jerk chicken, cakes. Um, a variety, Kool-Aid pickles. We have a variety of vendors now, but we are looking for more. We also have Jazzy Spa Lounge. She does amazing massages and education on on her massages and oils that she provides as well. But yes, if you are interested in being a vendor, our email is ardmorejuneteenth@gmail.com, and I can get you a form. Again, it is due on June 17th to be part of the block party.
And you said that was ardmorejuneteenth@gmail.com?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Excellent.
sir.
So we know it's going to be coming up on Saturday, June 20th, over on East Main Street here in downtown Ardmore. Kind of give us some of the date and times of this as well.
All right. So for vendors, we're having them come in from 12 to 1 to set up their booths. So that way we can start right on time at 2:00. And so from 2 to 10 is when the event will start on East Main Street from F Street Northeast to D Street Northeast. It will be blocked off. Everyone is invited, mamas, grandbabies, cousins, aunties, uncles, sisters, and brothers. We will also have special guests coming in for a bike show. We'll have several different contests as well as Kids Zone. We have special performances by dedicated voices and the gift of God during our gospel Rama hour as well. But this is a family-friendly community event where we'll be celebrating freedom, culture, unity, and community. Again, that's going to be on East Main Street on June 20th from 2 to 10.
And that's going to be between F Street and D Street Southeast. We're talking with Ashley Wright. She's actually the organizer for this Juneteenth event block party coming up on Saturday, June 20th, because she said from 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. As we wrap this conversation up, Ashley, I was hoping to ask too, after people spend, because it's going to be going on for 8 hours, so whether people spend an hour hanging out or whether they're there the whole day, what do you hope people are going to walk away with at the end of the Juneteenth block party?
I hope they walk away with being able to reconnect with their neighbors, support one another, and celebrate. Be proud of the community that they live in and that is continuing to build in the area. Just education and just seeing all the businesses that are out there, because some people may not know about, and just a celebration and just coming together and reconnecting.
Well, this has been Ashley Wright. She's born and raised here in Ardmore, now living in the DFW area, but still coming back home at least once a year to help with the organize the Juneteenth celebration. This year, they've got the Juneteenth block party coming up on Saturday, June 20th, on Main Street, East Main Street, between F Street to D Street. It's coming up on Saturday, June 20th from 2 p.m. until 10 p.m. If you are interested in being a vendor, we've got until June 17th to get those forms turned in. For more information on that, you can email her, ardmorejuneteenth@gmail.com. Ashley, thanks so much for talking a little bit about the block party coming up and a little bit about Juneteenth, and look forward to seeing you coming up on the 20th.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
All right, so here's the rundown of how to find Ardmore Leader in between these Friday podcasts. We distribute newsletters across town over the weekend, especially here downtown, but you can get a digital copy of that newsletter emailed to you every week. Check out the website ardmoreleader.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to get signed up for free. You can also find us on social media. Just search Ardmore Leader on whichever platform you use and see if we're there. You can also do the same with whichever music and podcast app you use to subscribe to this podcast and get notified of new episodes each week. Do you want to see your thoughts, your ideas, or maybe even something you created for Ardmore to see? Visit ardmoreleader.com. Head to the opinions section there, and then you can submit a letter to the editor. You can also email me letters, poems, cartoons, pictures, art, even record a voice note on your smartphone and then send that to me. soundoff@ardmoreleader.com. Make sure you include your name in that email so you can stand behind your submission. And now if your group or organization has a public event coming up, let me know, and I'll see about getting it on the schedule. In public meetings next week, the Carter County Commission will hold their regular meeting on Monday morning, June 15th at 9 a.m. at the County Administration Building on the corner of A Street and Broadway in downtown Ardmore. That agenda is available on the county's website, cartercountyok.us. The Ardmore City Commission will meet for their second meeting of the month, coming up on Monday, June 15th at 6 p.m. on the third floor of Ardmore City Hall. The agenda for that meeting can be found on the city's website, ardmorecity.org. Don't forget Food Truck Friday happening every Friday this summer here in downtown Ardmore. Catch up with neighbors, visit a few downtown merchants, maybe run into me, and then enjoy a lunch from food trucks and other vendors in the Depot Park. The Food Truck Friday, hosted by the Ardmore Main Street Authority, happens every Friday from 11 a.m. until 7 p.m. over in Depot Park. A Family Fun Day is coming up on Saturday, June 27th. Hosted by the group Real Dads Do Real Things. You can join them for this Family Fun Day at the Murray State College in Ardmore. Organizers are currently looking for vendors and donors who might want to be part of this Family Fun Day. Scheduled for Saturday, June 27th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Murray State College Ardmore campus. Area women are invited to the She Showed Up luncheon that's coming up on Saturday, June 27th. Healing Hearts Counseling Services is hosting this event at the Jerome Westheimer Performing Arts Center for an afternoon of celebrating and empowering women. This event, happening from 11 a.m. through 2 p.m., will be free to join, but those interested are asked to bring a $25 gift that's meant to be encouraging, empowering, or something for self-care that you can trade with other women at the event. Wear your best white outfit to the She Showed Up luncheon coming up on Saturday, June 27th, hosted by Healing Hearts Counseling Services. You can call Shanita at 855-843-2548 for any questions you have or to get registered by June 24th. A free Taekwondo demonstration is happening in Central Park on Independence Day. Start your July 4th off with a Taekwondo demonstration and watch some students perform their patterns. They'll show off some of their kicks. You can also learn some basic self-defense and maybe even take a shot at breaking a board. The Jungtung Taekwondo Association will hold their free annual demonstration coming up on Saturday, July 4th at 11 a.m. at the Central Park stage. All ages and physical abilities are welcome to participate. I'm Ardmore Leader News Director Michael Dean Smith. Thanks for listening to episode 67 of This Week in Ardmore. You can follow us online, ardmoreleader.com, or over on social media. And until next Friday, I hope you have a positive week ahead.